Hello, here I am again, streaming to the Facebook page, and I'm going to share it all over Facebook afterwards. I'm sitting here with the fabulous Julia Phelps from Mr. Vanger. Hello, Julia.
Hi there, Kelly.
Hiya. I've got tons of questions for you. You lucky. I've been following you for like forever, so very curious. So lots and lots of questions.
Okay.
I'm hoping some people are going to join us and watch. If not, they will be most likely watching on the replay, which seems to be the popular way to do it at the moment.
Yeah.
So, first thing I have to ask you is the name, Mr. Vanger. What's the story behind the name?
Yeah, it's not obvious, is it? Not long after we had moved here, my sister was coming to visit with my then 3-year-old niece. And I was told that she was telling all the friends and family that she was going to Mr. Vanger to see her cousins. And for some reason, the name just kind of resonated with me, because obviously it sounds a bit like Mr. Vanger, which is why she said it. And also, it sounded quite sweet. And I thought that was a nice name. So I just went with that.
Absolutely. Love it. I've been wondering that for a while. It's nice to finally get the chance to ask you. I've just realized I forgot to mention what you do. I know I've been posting it everywhere on Facebook anyway, but Julia is the creative mind behind these gorgeous stuffed toys. Is it all crochet, or you knit too? What?
No, it's mainly crochet, but there is a bit of knitting there as well. Yeah.
Fabulous. It's something I have never been able to master. I like to try my hand at lots of different creative things, but knitting and crochet. No. So how long have you been crocheting?
Well, I started out as a knitter. My mum taught me when I was about 8, I think. And then I've been knitting on and off ever since. It was when I picked it up a lot more when my friends started to have babies, because it was something nice to give as a gift. And I found I really like making baby clothes because they were small and quick, very, very sweet. And then I also started to try knitting toys as well, and really enjoyed making the toys. The crochet is fairly new. I think about 5 or 6 years I've been doing that now. And I just got to the point where I just wanted to learn to do it. I kept seeing these lovely things I could make if only I could crochet. And I was ready for a new challenge. So I just took a course, and that was it. I haven't stopped since.
Fabulous. I keep seeing all these beautiful toys pop up on your Instagram feed, and honestly, it puts a big smile on my face because I love them too. So is this something that you started before you moved to Norway?
No, I was just doing it as a hobby. I had a career in higher education, and then my husband got the chance to come and work in Norway for 3 years. So I decided I'd take a break, and we moved over here for 3 years initially. That was 8-9 years ago now. But I needed something to do when we got here. Although the children were small, I still needed something to do. So I fell back on my hobby, and then I thought I'll see if I can sell a few things. So when it became clear we were going to be here a lot longer, I took the step then to establish it as a business, and started to develop my own kind of product line, and also working on my own designs. So no, this is completely new. Doing it new and in a new country.
You have to get a bit creative when you move to a different country, I find. Yes. Think a bit outside of the box. So I'm guessing that your own kids and kids in the family and friends' kids have lots of your little toys. But who are your customers in general? Is it obviously what you make is for kids, but is it parents buying, grandparents?
It's a real mix. I get quite a lot of orders now, and the orders tend to be from people who either have a friend or a colleague who's expecting a baby, and they're collecting what they want to buy for them. And then I get quite a lot of repeat business that way, because once one group of people have kind of found me, then if they like me, someone else will come back for another gift. Or parents will often order things for their own children. So they obviously have an idea, particularly a first one, of what they want. Markets, I get a big mix of people, so it can be people buying for their own children, a lot of people buying for new babies in their family, whether they're aunts or uncles or grandparents. So yeah.
Fabulous. Changing the subject a bit, what do you find to be hardest about running a creative business? There's so many different things that we have to get involved in. What do you find the most difficult?
I mean, I love the making. I could just sit here and I could make all day, every day, and not do anything else, and be surrounded by a mountain of toys. I'll be quite happy with that. I mean, I enjoy the markets as well. It's nice to have that face-to-face contact. It's nice to get people's feedback, and to find out what they like, and what a lot of people who buy from you also make as well. So it's really interesting to hear their stories. But the promotion and selling myself, I find hard. I think a lot of makers find that it's just putting yourself out there is quite difficult. And also, I guess the general admin and the finance is one of those areas. It's just there, but you have to do it.
It is boring, and a bit stressful, and and there's I was saying to Marita earlier that there's a lot of, you kind of end up putting a lot of pressure on yourself as well when it comes to the social media. Like, I have to post now. Do you plan your posts, or is it just sort of when you've got time you put something up?
I tend to go in cycles. I will have a phase where I will plan, and I'll have a few photos set up, and I'll more or less go with that, with the odd extra one thrown in. Then sometimes I'll have periods when I can't face doing it, and I'll go for days and days and days and not do anything, and then feel bad. And then so it's a mix. I do try and have some idea of where I want to go over the coming month or two, and then occasionally I'll plan more detailed than that. But it seems to be cyclical.
Yeah. No, for sure. Have you got any advice to anybody that's thinking of setting up a handmade business?
I think really you just got to go for it. I mean, what I liked about in Norway is the fact that you can set yourself up and sell as a hobby, as long as you're not going over a certain threshold. So it gives you a chance to get out there and do a little bit, see if it works, what works best, and start to establish yourself before you have to get into the kind of official and scary bit of registering yourself as a business and having to do all the things that come with that.
Sure.
I think you've just got to give it a go.
Yeah, I get a lot of questions about that, actually. People wondering, okay, can I do this as a hobby? When do I have to register a business? And it confuses people a bit, because it is a real grey area here in Norway. You can carry on as a hobby for quite some time, and people are always wondering when am I supposed to register a business?
It is tricky. Yeah.
You also teach. You're teaching crochet. How did that come about?
I think it was the result of a number of different factors. I mean, I obviously have a passion for knitting and crochet, and I find it impossible not to share that and try and convert everybody into a yarn lover. I think also living here in Norway, it is such a popular hobby and pastime, and so many people, Norwegians, can knit, and the number of handmade items you see people wearing themselves. I think it inspires. Because I teach in English, I mainly teach expats. We have a large expat community here, so I think it inspires people when they get here to either have another go or to learn from scratch. So that was one reason. I think also when you're creating, you are working on your own, and I did miss the social interaction and the connections and the contact. So it was a way of having that, but also it also provides a nice way for other people to get together and meet each other and form their own communities. I've had couple of my courses that I've run, I've had people form their own knitting groups, and they've carried on meeting after the course, which is really nice.
Fabulous.
Yeah, I mean, I'd never done it before. So the first one I did, I actually asked a group of friends if they would like to learn to knit. And I used them as my guinea pigs, because I didn't want the first time I did it to be for paying people.
Sure.
And I just really loved it. Really, really enjoyed seeing them master a skill, and for some of them really getting the bug and running with it. It was great.
Fabulous. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's nice when you can inspire people to try something new, and see them run with it. Have you had to rethink anything since we kind of went into lockdown, and obviously there's no markets, everything's been cancelled, you can't do classes in person, so how is it affecting your business?
Well, I mean, I'm lucky in that the family doesn't kind of rely on my business to survive. So in some ways I've decided just to step back and take a bit of a break. Like you say, I've had to stop teaching. So instead I've been thinking about what kind of courses I can run when we do get back to normal. I haven't actually done anything yet, but I have been toying with the idea of producing a few little videos, because since the lockdown, a few of my friends will often ask me to help them with their projects. So occasionally I'll get a little parcel on the front door with a little note saying, "Can you fix this?" And I've done some online help when someone's got their knitting, and we've tried to talk about it. It's so hard though. But I did produce a couple of little videos for one friend to help her unpick and repair her work. I thought that could be something that could be useful to develop.
Absolutely.
But I've also actually, I mean, I can still sell in my shop online, but there doesn't seem to be. I think it's picking up a bit now, but initially there didn't seem to be a lot more business going on. So I've actually just used the time to finish some personal projects, which I have quite a number, but get put to one side. So it's been quite nice being a little bit selfish and just doing stuff for me.
I totally agree. You know, as much as it saddens me that I'm not out there in the bustle of things and organising markets, because I really do miss that. I love being out amongst people. The being on sort of lockdown and stuck inside has forced me to kind of be, like you say, be a little bit selfish and spend some time doing the stuff that I haven't done for 10 years or so, you know, and getting back into that. It's absolutely brilliant. So there's definitely something I'm going to keep doing from now on, regardless of how much I can get out or not. So we might see some videos, how-to videos popping up from you.
Possibly. I need to work on it a bit more, but it's something I'd like to try and see if I can produce things that I'm happy with. But yeah, I think there might be a little bit of a gap for fixing mistakes. It is quite you normally get how to do something, not how to sort out your errors. Which is the thing most people struggle with.
I am absolutely all fingers and thumbs when it comes to knitting and crochet. A couple of people have tried to teach me, and it just, I don't know, I can't get it. And I'm left-handed as well, and that seems to confuse people when they're trying to teach me, and I can't reverse things in my head from their hands to my hands. So it just all gets a bit. Yeah, got any advice?
I mean, I do kind of believe everybody can do knitting or crochet. I don't believe there's anyone who's unteachable. I think a lot of it when you're learning is actually being able to relax. When it's all new, you do feel all fingers and thumbs. And you do tend to kind of tense up, and you're already going to drop everything and lose everything. So you end up sort of doing this, and actually you need to sort of relax and take it easy, and then everything's much simpler.
Right.
I have to say, I have taught a few left-handed people, and I teach everybody to knit right-handed, even my daughter included, who's left-handed. But I do find if you're learning what's called, well, it varies, the continental way, the way Norwegians knit, where you're holding the yarn in your left hand, it doesn't seem, I think it's easier than some people who learn sort of English way, where you're holding it with your right hand. It's actually much easier, and I've not had a problem so far with left-handers teaching in the same way. The advantage of it is, if you can learn that way, is you've then got every pattern open to you, if you learn left-handed, you then got the extra job of either trying to convert a right-handed pattern so you can knit it, or looking just for a small number of left-handed ones.
That's good, because I wouldn't have even thought of that. Okay, well, I'll be signing up for your course at some point. It's one of those things I've always wanted to learn how to do it, but it just defeats me every single time, and it's thoroughly frustrating.
It comes down to practice in the end. You've just got to practice. You've got to ignore. When I'm teaching, I do say to people, we're not trying to produce something pretty the first lesson. We're just trying to do it. It doesn't matter what it looks like. But that comes later. Pretty comes later.
Fair enough. Yeah. Okay. That's good advice. I think I'm a bit of a perfectionist, so I want to get it right first time, and get a bit impatient for myself. So, do you have any other strings to your bow? Because a lot of us creative folks tend to get involved in other projects, other creative things.
A little bit. I mean, I do like to sew. I'm not particularly sort of professional at it, but I do enjoy it. And I have also started a after-school sewing club at my children's school, teaching some of the younger children there to sew, which it's been great fun. It's such a shame we haven't been able to quite finish the course that I had planned, but it's really nice watching young people, keen to learn and keen to get to grips with the craft. It's great.
Yeah, absolutely. Fantastic to be able to be involved in that and inspiring people. Brilliant. So you're based in Stavanger. What's the handmade scene like there? Are there good events and markets and shops?
Yes, there are lots of really amazing crafters and people who make things covering a whole host of mediums and crafts. We have lots of glass makers, ceramics, wicker, wool crafts, jewellery, the whole range. So there are some quite amazing makers. And there are some really good markets. I mean, particularly around Christmas, there are some really, really big events where people from outside Norway come and sell as well.
Fantastic.
And there are also some more exclusive events. Before the virus hit, and I'm sure it will continue afterwards, but Stavanger City had just started a regular initiative to have a handmade market in the centre of town with some lovely wooden stalls that they'd built. That was really nice to see. I think the only drawback is it can seem a little bit quiet after Easter in the spring and the summer. There's not so much organised then, which is a bit of a shame because I think there's still demand for it.
Yeah, I mean, that's when I'm most active in Oslo is spring, summertime. Various locations, and there's some good markets going on in the autumn too, and Christmas is always fun, but really most of what we're doing in Oslo is spring, summertime. And it works well because there's it's good for people who live here, but it's also fabulous for the tourists to come along and check out and see what's being created here. I have a question. A little bit of market research from my angle here. If Handmade in Norway can help people like yourselves with creative business, what sort of thing do you see that I could help with?
Yeah, I love Handmade in Norway. I think it's a brilliant initiative, and I have used it. Lots of your online resources, which I don't know if you've talked about much, but I think one of your creating your own branding. There's a whole series of those. I followed all those worksheets, and they were really helpful. I really enjoyed those.
Fabulous.
So those I think are excellent when you're starting. All those resources you produce, and it's great to be part of a supportive network of other makers. I think also particularly other non-Norwegian makers, because you do worry that you're a bit out of it, you're missing things, so it's nice to have that community, and also to be inspired by the people and what they're making. There's some fantastic people out there.
Absolutely.
I guess in terms of what you can do, it's kind of hard because I think being here in Stavanger, you do sometimes feel you're missing out on all the lovely, great markets you're running in Oslo. It does. You sit and I wish I could go. That's just not an easy one to sort out, is it? So,
no, I would love to come up and do some markets in Stavanger. The thing is, I don't have the contacts there that I have here in Oslo, obviously. So you know, that takes a bit of time to build up. But it's not out of the question. I'll work on it.
excellent.
Yeah. So finally, where can we find your work? Where can people buy from you? Where are they going to find you and fall in love with the gorgeous toys that you make?
Well, I obviously have a Facebook page.
Mm-hmm.
And Facebook, I tend to promote my products, and also the course information goes there because I seem to have quite a lot of local followers on Facebook. So I tend to put all the courses gets fed out on there. And I've got an Instagram account, which has again got the products and a few more behind the scenes, work in progress type shots so that you can see, and also a bit more about where I am, so you can see where I live and the wonderful Stavanger countryside. Then Etsy, I've got a shop on Etsy, so you can that's a good place just to go and see what I've got available at the moment. Obviously through the other channels I'll take orders, but that is what's available at the moment. And I've also set up a Ravelry shop because I've started to develop a few patterns. That's something else I've been doing during this period. I've been particularly looking at developing patterns for new knitters. So the idea is after you've done, say, one of my Learn to Knit courses, there are a few easy patterns. I'm calling them beautifully simple because they're meant to be easy, but also look lovely. Rather than, because sometimes you get these easy patterns, but they don't always look, the finished article isn't always that nice. So the idea is it helps you practice your skills and takes you a little bit further to challenge you on your next step.
Fabulous.
So all those places.
Super. I'm just going to pop a link to your Facebook page in the comments field there. So that is there. One final thing, I see that we've got a hello from Natalia. So I just wanted to say hi to Natalia, who's been watching and said hello to us. It's nice to get some interaction from people that are watching. Well, thank you very much for joining me, Julia. It's been an absolute pleasure to chat with you. And I will continue to stalk you on Facebook and Instagram.
Good, I like that.
I am a serial stalker on social media. I can't help it. I see beautiful things and I just have to keep seeing more. It's just how it is.
Oh, I know. It's addictive, isn't it?
Well, have a lovely rest of the day. It's been fabulous talking to you.
And to you as well. Thank you.
Thanks, Julia. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.